Hello and good morning to everyone. My name is Alok Sharma and you're watching FICON classes. Let's hit the concepts. In the previous lecture, we started kinematics, in which we discussed about the broad classification of mechanics and we discussed about kinematics. So if you have not watched it yet, you can just hit the I button there and please watch it. And then in this particular lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the concept of rest and motion. So in general, whatever we see, whatever we thought of rest and motion is actually, it is not applicable in physics. It is something else, some new thing that we are going to discuss in today's class. You'll be understanding the exact meaning of rest and motion. And then after that, we'll be discussing about different kinds of motion. What are the different kinds of motion possible? How this motion is being classified into different kinds. That thing we'll be discussing. In between, some small topics like point mass, what is point mass, these things we will discuss and we are gonna cover in this particular lecture. Okay, so let me just start with this concept of rest and motion and ask you one question. If I ask you whether any, let's suppose your sofa set in your drawing room, what is its state of motion? State of motion means whether it is in rest condition or it is moving. So if I ask you whether the sofa set present in your this drawing room, whether it is in rest condition or it is moving, what will be your answer? Rest condition, right? So definitely if you are saying rest condition, you are correct. Now when you are saying it is in rest condition, so what is your basis? With which reference you are saying it is in rest condition? Because see, if you're standing, just think of right now we are on earth. On earth, this when you are standing in front of your building, let's suppose, and you are watching your building, you will find that your building is in rest condition, right? Now think of a person who went to moon. An astronaut went to moon, and now from moon he is observing the things on earth. Now for that person who is on the moon, whether the building that you are watching on being on the earth, that particular building, for an astronaut who is at moon, for him it will be in rest condition or it will be in motion. For the astronaut who is on the moon, every particle on earth is going to have some kind of motion. Why? Because earth is rotating about its own axis continuously. It means whatever we think of that the particle or the substance or the material, building, anything is in rest condition may not be in rest condition for some other person. Understand? If you are on earth and if you are observing from earth, then this like floor, then buildings, industries, roads, these things you might say that they are in rest condition. Trees, they are in rest condition. But as you change your frame of reference from earth to moon, when you are moving to moon, now the things are changing. So this particular thing we are going to discuss in detail. So let's get started with the concept of rest and motion. So concept of rest and motion, just now we took an example of sofa set. Now here, let us see this diagram here. So here in this diagram, this tree is fixed with earth surface. Okay. Now we are on earth. We have to think accordingly from earth. Okay. And there are two cars. This car 1 is in rest condition. That means it is having velocity of 0. And then car 2 is moving with some velocity of 50 kilometers per hour in forward direction. Okay. Now here, to understand the concept of rest and motion even in better way, let me just ask you questions. We are going to define the reference and then accordingly we will see what is the motion of other particles, other objects. Okay. So first of all, let's suppose our references means with reference to, WRT means with reference to tree. If I am talking about with reference to tree, then car 1, what is the motion of car 1 with reference to tree? Can you tell me? See, tree is, what is the velocity of tree? Can you write?
velocity of tree is going to be 0, right? Because it is fixed to the ground. So now see here, when velocity of tree is also 0, when velocity of car 1 is also 0, that means with respect to tree, the car is not moving, it is on the ground only, right? So if your reference point is tree, then car 1 is in rest condition with respect to tree. So car 1 is in rest condition with respect to tree. If I ask about car 2, tell me, with respect to tree, what is the motion of car? What is the state of motion? State of motion means whether it is in rest condition or it is in movement. So definitely it is in motion. It is in motion. And more specifically, if you want to say, you can say that car is moving with 50 kilometers per hour in positive x direction. If our coordinate system we are taking as positive x and this is positive outside. Okay, you understood? Now, second, with respect to car 1. Now, if I am talking about with respect to car 1, what is the motion of tree? What is the motion of tree? Can you tell me? Yes, tell me first. Correct. Okay, rest. And what is the motion of car 2? Motion of car 2 will be motion. It will be in motion. That means it is moving with the velocity of 50 km per hour in forward direction or positive x-axis direction. Okay. Now, coming to third point, that is with respect to, tell me, car 2. With respect to car 2, if I am talking about, then tree will have rest motion or movement. Tell me. Tree is fixed on the ground, car is moving. So for the person who is sitting inside the car number 2, whether the tree is moving or not with respect to that person who is sitting inside the car. So when you are deciding a reference point, you have to sit on that reference point and observe the other point. Okay. So if I am asking about what will be the state of motion of this tree with respect to car 2, then you just go and sit inside car number 2. Just imagine like that. Okay, so if you are sitting inside car number 2, and that means you are moving with a 50 kilometers per hour of velocity. And if you see a tree which is fixed to the ground, whether you will find the tree to be in motion or not, you just tell me. Definitely, you will find the tree to be in motion, but in opposite direction. Tree will be in motion, but you will find that the velocity is now minus 50. So here you can write this car 1 is moving with some 50 kilometers per hour in positive direction. So I am writing plus 50. This will also be plus 50. But here, with respect to car 2, if you are thinking of state of motion of tree, then tree will be moving but in backward direction, that is minus negative x-axis direction, and that is why I have shown negative point here in front of 50. Okay. Now, with respect to car 2, car 1, what kind of motion a car 1 will possess with respect to car 2? It will also be in motion, and the velocity will be minus 50. Are you understanding this thing? See, if you are sitting inside a bus, now think of, if you are sitting inside a bus and if you are watching the trees outside, if you are moving in the forward direction, you will find that you will feel that the trees are moving in the backward direction, but actually they are in the rest condition. They are on the ground, but with respect to you, you will find that the trees are moving in the backward direction. So this happens. Now think of, if you are sitting inside a bus, a friend of yours is sitting beside you. Now what is the motion of your friend with respect to you? It will be rest condition, because for you, you will find that your friend is beside you only. It is not going to change. The position is not going to change. In that case, you will understand the person is in rest condition with respect to you. If you are sitting inside a bus, the bus is moving. What is your motion with respect to bus? Rest condition only. What is the state of motion of bus with respect to you? Rest condition only. But what is the state of motion for road with respect to bus when the bus is moving on the road? So for that, the state of motion of road will be it will be in motion but in negative direction. Are you understanding these things? If you're not understanding, just go back and try to hear it again. Okay. Now let me ask you one more question here. So when we say, people normally, when we are traveling with train, let's suppose this Bombay station is about to come. People used to say, "Na, the Bombay is about to come." So whether it is correct or not, this sentence, is it correct or not? Bombay is about to come. When people say this, actually Bombay is not moving. Bombay is a city. Its location on earth is fixed. So Bombay is not moving. You are the one who is moving, or the train is the one who is moving, which is moving, right? So when you say that Bombay is about to come, whether this sentence is correct or not. So for a normal person who is not having the understanding of physics, for that person this sentence might be wrong. Are you understanding? Normally we will say that the city is not moving, so we can't say that Bombay is about to come. No, that is wrong for a normal person. But according to physics, if your reference is train itself, then you can say that Bombay is coming. Right? Because you are sitting inside the train now. But now your reference point is train. If you reach Bombay, that means Bombay is coming to you because you are inside the train. For you, train is in rest condition. Bombay is moving. So according to physics, it is correct. But in general, if you see, for a layman, it's a wrong thing. But as per physics, if you consider the train to be your reference point, train is in zero, means it's in rest condition with respect to you, and actually train is not moving for you. For you, train is not moving, and Bombay is coming towards you. So as per that conceptual thing, you can say that Bombay is coming is a correct sentence. Understand? So this is about the concept of rest and motion. I hope you have understand. I hope you have understood this thing. So let's move forward. Now coming to coordinate system. So see, we have different kinds of coordinate system. That means a 3D space can be, we can define a point in a 3D space in different ways. So here the diagram shows an XYZ system. This XYZ coordinate system. See, this particular system in which we measure all the 3 dimensions in length. See, X is also measured in length, Y is also measured in length, and Z is also measured in length. This particular system is called as Cartesian coordinate system. See, 3 mutually perpendicular axis system is called as Cartesian coordinate system. All the 3 directions are going to have 90 degree with any of the other direction. Okay, that means X is perpendicular to Y, Y is perpendicular to Z, Z is perpendicular to both, like that. Okay, so this is called as Cartesian coordinate system. Now what is coordinate or reference coordinate system? A reference coordinate system is the coordinate system which is taken as the reference for defining rest or the motion of any of the particles. So it's very simple. Reference coordinate system means a coordinate system chosen as a reference. That will be reference coordinate system, and the coordinate system which is having x, y, z and axis, and all these axes are perpendicular to each other, is called as Cartesian coordinate system. Now you might ask that what are some other kinds of coordinate systems. So let me just tell you. See, there is one coordinate system called as cylindrical coordinate system. In cylindrical coordinate system, we measure in radius, then height, and one more thing is theta. So r, h, theta. This is how we measure in cylindrical coordinate system. Now third one is spherical coordinate system. This one is cylindrical coordinate system. This one is spherical coordinate system. In spherical coordinate system, the measurement is done as radius, then one theta in this direction, then another theta. If you take this thing now, so 2 theta, 1 radius, and then 1 theta, 1 alpha, like that you can assume. So these two are angle, one is length. Here it is r at theta. R at theta means r is length, h is length, theta is angle. So length and angle, that is cylindrical coordinate system. Length, angle and angle, that is spherical coordinate system. But length and length, that is a Cartesian coordinate system. Understand? Now one more point here is a very important point, and some questions have been asked previously, that always when you are drawing Cartesian coordinates, then this xyz condition, this xyz should always be in anti-clockwise direction. So this system is correct because xyz. Now if you take this kind of, now if I am taking x here, then y should be this one only and z should be this one. That means it will create again anti-clockwise sense. If your system somewhere it is shown like this, x, then z, then y. So as per the standard, this system is wrong. This kind of systems are not taken into consideration. They are not taken for study. Okay. So you can make a system like this, but standard thing is this one, anti-clockwise direction. Okay. So this kind of questions have already been asked in the examination. That's why I'm studying here. Okay. Now coming to point mass. So it's a small point that we need to discuss here. A point mass, see, actually mass cannot be of point size. Mass will be of some size, right? Mass will be like this. Now this is a big mass, but during the study in physics, what we assume that this mass, we are going to assume it to be concentrated at a single point. Now this assumption of mass as a single point, if it is a point, it will not have any kind of dimension, right? That means the dimension in any of the direction, x, y, z direction, is going to be 0. It does not have any length, area or volume. Point is not having even the length, area or any volume. It is not having any kind of thing. Okay. So if I ask you about what is the length of this point, there is no length. What is the area of the point? There is no area. Everything is 0. Point is a point which is not having any kind of length, area or volume. Okay. So this point, when we assume that a big mass is being concentrated at a single point, it actually, what is the need of assuming this thing? It makes our study easier. That is the only point. There is nothing else. Okay. So a mass of an object is assumed to be concentrated at a single point, and that point is this one. Okay. Now then this idealized mass is known as point mass. So this point is actually known as what? Point mass. So you need not to worry about point mass. What is point mass? How can a mass be concentrated in a point? No, we are just assuming that the mass is being concentrated at a point so that to make our study easier. Understand? So a finite mass, it is a finite mass with 0 dimension. As I told you, there will not be any kind of dimension for point. So you can take the example as Earth mass system. So when we are studying Earth mass system, see, Earth is always considered to be as a point. Actually, Earth is very big. When we assume that whole mass is being concentrated at the center, and then we can study, we can do the study assuming that this point is Earth. This point is Earth. Then this point will be called as point mass, which is representing Earth. Understand? Okay. Let's move. Now coming to types of motion. See, basically motions can have a various number of kinds. Now, especially some of the based on their property of motion, we have divided it into main 4 kinds of motion. Now, if a motion takes place in a straight line, when a motion takes place in a straight line, then that kind of motion is called as linear motion. Linear motion. Just think of, if you leave an object from a height. If you leave an object from a height, let's suppose this is there. If you leave an object from a height, so this particular body is going to fall down, and that path traced by this particle is going to be a straight line path. If you are just dropping it, then it will be a straight line. If you throw it, then it will not be a straight line. Okay, so that will be a parabola. Okay, but if you are just dropping something, then the path traced by the particle is going to be a straight line. And now here one more example we are seeing here, that if this 100-meter race, in 100-meter race the path is always straight, it's not curvy. For 200 it may be curvy, for 400 it may be curvy, but normally 100-meter race, they are this track is going to be a straight track. So for 100-meter sprint running, we can take it as an example of straight line motion. Understand? So two examples I have given here, others you can find more and just comment it. Okay. Okay, now coming to circular motion. So this one was the one kind of motion. Linear motion means straight line motion, when the particle is moving in a straight path. Let's suppose you are riding a bike and the road is straight, then that motion will also be called as a straight line motion. Now coming to circular motion. In circular motion, what happens? The particle which is moving is going to be moving in a circle. Let's suppose you have a track in circular shape, a 400-meter track in circular shape. Now if you are running, then your motion is going to be a circular motion. Understand? Now think of, if you tie a ball with a thread, at the end if you have a ball and there is a thread, and if you start to rotate that thing, okay, if you start to rotate that thing, then the path traced by the ball at the end of the thread is going to be a circular path. Then the motion of ball is going to be called as circular motion. So here this is the thread, this is the thread, and this ball is going to have a motion in a circle. This ball is going to have motion in a circle, so that will be called as circular motion. So this thread is not in a circular motion. What is in circular motion? This ball is in circular motion. Understand? Now think of electron. Electron, they revolve around nucleus. So the motion of electron is going to be a circular. Any other example can you think of? The motion of Earth around, or all the planets around Sun, it is also a circular path. Actually it is elliptical in shape, but you can assume it to be circle. Okay. So if we are assuming that all the planets are revolving around the Sun in a circular path, then the motion of Earth or any other planet is going to be circular. So these are two kinds, and we have two more kinds here. Then rotational motion. Rotational motion means, just think of Earth. Earth rotates about in its own axis, right? So when body rotates about its own axis, if I have this thing. Okay, now this axis is going to be passing through the center of this ring. Now if this ring is moving like this, such that the axis is not changing, but the body is moving about its own axis, it is rotating about its own axis, then it is called as rotational motion. Just think of this spin top. I have shown it here, spin top. So when you play with the spin top, this is going to be fixed at one point, and then it will start rotating at that point itself. So actually it is moving, it is rotating about its own axis. All the planets, they rotate about its own axis. So all those motions are called as what? Rotational motion. Clear? If you just throw a ball on the ground, if you just release a ball on the ground, now on the ground itself, this ball will be rotating about its own axis, as well as it will move in the forward direction. So movement in the forward direction is called as translation, but if it is rotating about its own axis also, then that will be a rotation. Think of the wheel of your car or maybe your motorbike. This wheel is rotating about its own axis. It is moving in forward direction also, but it is rotating about its own axis also. So that will be a rotational motion. When it is moving forward, that is a translatory motion. But it is when it is moving or rotating about its own axis, then that will be called as rotational motion. Understand? Now coming to the last one, and which is very, very important, vibrational motion. Vibration, you know what is vibration? So anything which is moving fast. This is also vibration. If my hand is moving continuously up and down, about a fixed point, about a mean point, this is moving up and down, then this is a vibratory motion. Now think of pendulum. Pendulum, what happens? In pendulum, it is moving to and fro about a fixed point. About the fixed point, it is moving to and fro. That is also a vibration. So whenever a particle executes a motion, whatever may be its path, such that it is having a to and fro, back and forth kind of motion about a fixed point, then that motion is called as vibrational motion or vibratory motion or oscillation. These are also called as oscillation. Now think of guitar strings. Guitar strings. If you just pluck the string, then strings will start vibrating about a fixed point. They will start vibrating about a fixed point. Correct or not? Now think of a spring. If you have a spring and a mass, let's suppose this is spring and there is a mass attached at the end. Okay, now if you just pull this mass in the right hand side, so what will happen? This spring is going to be stretched, and if you leave it, when you leave it, then this kind of motion, this mass is going to start oscillating. So this mass is going to start oscillate about a fixed point. It will be moving like this, back and forth. So this kind of motion, wherever there is to and fro motion about a fixed point, that is called as vibratory motion, and it is very, very important kind of motion. This vibratory motion is going to come in your SHM, simple harmonic motion, as well as it will be important when we will be studying waves. Okay, so I hope all these kinds of motions are clear to you. So this one was third and this one was fourth. So 4 different kinds of motion we have studied. So I want you to give me some more examples on all the 4 kinds of motion. Some daily life example I want you to write in the comment box. Okay, so that was the end of this particular lecture. I hope you enjoyed and you have learned everything whatever I am taking in the class. So just keep learning and revise it. If you are not able to understand the thing, first revise it. If you are not even then if you are not getting it, then you can comment or you can mail me. So I'll try to come up with some another format of teaching or another way in which I'll be able to explain the things in easier way. Okay, so take care. Goodbye.